What up, everyone? DJ Anubis here with you, the Metal Time Radio podcast, doing another movie review. Again, Neko is busy with other things this weekend, so I'm kind of holding down the fort with getting some content out to you. But as promised, I got a review for the new film Desperate Souls, directed by Steve Herman. Cast is Angel Bradford as Moria. Joe Rosen is Devin. Magdalena Conway is Rebecca. Jake Yanko is Dan, and there's some other cast members, but those are your main four. Plot is living in the endless void of the afterlife. Myra, I think it's Myra, survives on the lust, despair, and grief of men, an existence this enchantress has known for eons as a succubus. Using her exquisite beauty, she lures them with false hopes of relief from the mental pain before consuming their broken souls. When Myra hears the cries of Devin, a man whose life dances on the edge of a razor blade, she's drawn to a pain she's never felt before. Discovering they both found what they have longed for, Myra is determined to keep them together and not let anyone stand in their way, no matter who she must kill. First things first, the runtime of this film is like an hour and 40 minutes, which is almost unheard of for a horror film of this caliber, because usually it's between 110 and 120, sometimes even just an hour for some, more lower budget films. But they put a lot of effort into this, good quality of plot line, design, as well as good cast and everything else. If you don't know, definitely a big fan of Angel Bradford's since I saw her in Night of the Axe, directed by Sean Wright. Very good film as well. When you watch films, I'm going to kind of get to this a little more later with another of the cast members, but you kind of see something special in people, and this is one of these things where you kind of see them growing, and you think they've got something to offer, like the acting world. Like, I just think there's big things for Angel Bradford going forward. In fact, she's doing a lot of shooting. This is why I haven't been able to get an interview with her, because she's just been fucking busy as shit. But she's got done doing a Crack-Coon, which I saw the trailer for that, dude, and that film looks fucking amazing. Like, Neko and I watched Cocaine Bear and came out kind of disappointed with that. I think Crack-Coon's going to blow it out of the water, and I know it's even on a smaller budget, but it looks so fucking hilarious. Even the animatronics or whatever they're doing with the coon itself is fucking hilarious. Looks fun. But she's also been a part of Debbie Does Demons, Wolf Hollow, Bloody Hooker Massacre, and of course the aforementioned Night of the Axe. This movie is well shot, great atmosphere. Sometimes I wondered like what was going on between this like dreamlike state that Devin was having and whether or not it was reality. But it's never really quite explained, but I think eventually it does kind of work itself out. So basically, Devin, this guy, he's just been in dumps, depression, and he sees a therapist. And so basically, we kind of, early on, we get to know who Myra is because of another guy that she ends up stealing the soul from. And, that's kind of how it opens. But then when we get to Devin, he's going to the bar, he's where his friend Dan is. And eventually, Dan's trying to cheer him up, but unsuccessfully. In fact, the barmaid used to be that someone Devin dated, but they broke up, didn't work, and she ended up becoming a lesbian. So it's kind of a funny moment where Dan's like trying to rekindle that fire, and it just doesn't work. Then Dan's girlfriend, Rebecca, shows up. And this is one of the funnest scenes in the film because Rebecca, played by Conway, basically is doing like a reimagining of or playing homage to the scene from When Harry Met Sally with the orgasm. But that it comes off so hilarious that it's funny as hell. But it's really well done. Like I was sold as Dan was. I was sold. So eventually, Myra is attracted by Devin and his depression and his sadness. So she comes to take his soul, and Devin's like, "Yeah, man, just can you make me feel better?" Whatever the case might be. And but she starts to realize, looking in his eyes, that he's different than the others that she has taken over the course of her time being a succubus. And she sees Devin in a different light. So now there's this different connection that she has now. And it's almost like a two-part where she wants to reintegrate into the real world with him and sort of like not be who she is anymore. But granted, she's a demon, right? So, and eventually, though, it leads to the darker side of Myra coming out because she's still unfamiliar with the real world in terms of how people integrate with each other, talk with one another. Like she misses some of the simplest jokes because she's not familiar. She's been in a whole different plane of existence for an entire lifetime. So naturally, as Devin's like, yeah, I see a therapist to talk things out, to kind of help me feel better. And this kind of makes Myra a little bit jealous. So she starts kind of one by one, like picking off his friends and people he knows who she thinks is a threat to her love and relationship with Devin. I've said it many times before, even during Night of the Axe, that Bradford, she has a great and mesmerizing screen presence. And she's basically a natural when it comes to love scenes. Like, again, she has a couple in here. Like, whatever it is she has, like, it just, and I see it with other actresses and other movies and whatnot. I'm not adult oriented. I'm not going there, but just in mainstream stuff and movies, it's like you have this chemistry with your co-stars, and if you make it believable, that's part of the process of acting. And so she has a knack for doing that, and it's really, really impressive. Like I find myself blown away that she's able to do this uh, flawlessly. And maybe on her end, like I haven't had a chance to talk to her about that kind of stuff, but like I don't even know like how she feels when she does that or whatever. But for the person viewing the film, like it's just on the money. Like it's believable. You know what I mean? That's what you want when you're engulfed in the film and the plot. You want to be able to believe everything you're seeing. It's that escape from everything else that you do when you watch a movie. Um, so yeah, there is some. So this is our main guy here. This is Devin, and brooding and sad and all that goodness. And of course, this is a moment where Angel is basically showing her darker side as the succubus. Great special effects there. In fact, I don't know if she played it because I know that Angel does special effects herself. So I don't know how much of that she was part of in this film. I'm sure that she did a little bit of it. But there's a really, really great moment. Another one of my favorite moments where Rebecca confronts Angel about who she is because she kind of like figures it out. And they confront one another, and this scene between the two of them is like fantastic. Like together, these two steal the show in this movie. They're both very well. In fact, Conway is like something of a. I think she's another one that's going to be kind of special going forward. I don't know all the work that she's done so far, but she was excellent in this film. She has the way of utilizing her mannerisms to work with the character that she's portraying, so it just comes out very flawless. And that it's just like up there with Angel's performance, like, and the two of them together was like fire. It's just like they really worked well together. I believed in the moment, and it was really great. Uh, as for Dan, I thought, Yanko as the actor playing Dan, he probably could have used some more screen time. Like he's actually pretty good too. He was kind of like funny in a lot of ways, but probably his best moment is his moment where he gives a new meaning to the word "get ahead in life," or don't lose one's head in the moment. Uh, I'm not gonna go beyond that because I don't want too many spoilers. But yeah, that was kind of an impressive moment and kind of funny at the same time. The kill and gore effects, like I said, were really good in this film. the backstory was awesome. I really liked the backstory of this. It caught me off guard a little bit just because where they went with it. Like, it's one thing you have the backstory, but how they used it was pretty original, and it reminded me a lot. And I know people hate Dracula 2000 with Jared Butler, but if you enjoyed that film, or if you even saw it, like the origins of Dracula and Dracula 2000. I thought that was a great fucking origin story, unique. That's how I feel about Moria's origin story, where she came from and how she came to be. Very good origin plot line for her and her character. So that was well done on the part of the cast and the screenwriters and whoever came up with that, because I enjoyed that part of it a lot. Towards the end of the film, it does get to be like 8 years ahead. So there is a point where Myra is basically knows that she's bad for Devin. Like, she just knows that she can't really be with him in the way that she wants. And so, like, maybe he wouldn't care, maybe he would, but in the end, she separates. And then we find Devin, like, years down the road, has a young girl, a young daughter, and there's another woman there. They don't really explain whether or not it's a marriage or a partnership or whatever. They don't, at least I didn't catch it at the time that I watched it, but he is with another woman. They have a kid. And then the kid is being haunted by basically Mora, to the point that she kind of goes into this other plane of existence in her dreams. But there's like this nice, I don't know what you would call it. It's a sweet moment between the kid and Myra, because Mora's trying to, like, I can't pronounce the name right, but sorry for that. She's trying to explain to the child that she's going to be much like her. Now, I don't know why they don't really elaborate on that part of it. Like, we don't even know where the kid really came from. Like, is it supposed to be with the woman that Devin's with, or I don't know. We don't really know. Like, it's kind of like they don't really explain a lot of that. I'm assuming it's with the woman that Devin's with. But then how that became to be a young succubus, maybe it's because Devin had already been with Myra, and there's that bloodline of sorts or whatever, like infection. I don't know what you would call that. But there is like this friendly confrontation between the two of them. And the little girl thinks she's an angel, and she's like, well, not really. not that kind of angel anyway. But it does have an endearing quality between the young girl and Mora. And so I will say, when it comes to this film, I think I said it when I watched the trailer premiere way back, when they were having some issues trying to get it to play right, and I felt bad for them. They were really excited to premiere that night. But I said it back then that the movie reminds me a lot of the 1994 film called Dark Angel: The Ascent. I believe Full Moon Pictures put that out. That movie was basically where a female demon, basically a succubus, was kind of getting tired of being in hell around her family and her dad and all this, and she wanted to go up on Earth and see what it was like. And she does, and she's naive to a lot of things, but she's also still a demon, so she ends up killing some people, bad guys usually. But she falls in love. And so that film ends a little bit differently, which I always enjoy about that film too. But the premise is very similar in the vibe. And so if you ever saw that, then you're going to get the similar vibe with this one. But it does end differently, and it's actually a very good film. What I do love about films like this is, again, you get to see young talent emerge. I'm not like expert in filmmaking at all. I'm just a big fan of horror and film in general, like many of you. but you just get vibes from young actors who are up and coming, or directors too. I know a few out there who are on YouTube landscape, who do YouTube channels and also are directors themselves. Uh, do some good films, and so I'm always supportive of that. And as I said here, I think Angel and Magdalena Conway, they're going to be something to look for going in the future. Conway was excellent in this film, like really, really excellent. Um, I think she's going to be something special. I know Angel is already something special. She's got a lot of work on her plate. If you ever check out her IMDb, man, she's got shit lined up coming out. She's even had to turn some shit down because she's been so busy. That's how fucking busy she's been. So one day I'll be able to interview her and get it done. But until then, my rating for this is an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this, and I think when it gets released, I'm gonna buy it. It's that good. I always want to support, especially because we're friends with her on social media. She's a really nice girl, and she takes the time to chat with you and all that good stuff. So she's humble as somebody who's in the film industry. She's very sweet. But yeah, so I will definitely be buying this. Hopefully it's on Blu-ray when it comes out. I don't know if that's something they can swing or not, but we'll see. But check it out, man. It's on Amazon Prime right now. I actually rented it for like $3, which is a steal, basically. But you may end up seeing it show up on Tubi or something at some point. It's gonna be one of those kind of films. Like I think Night of the Axe ended up showing up on Tubi, or somebody else was telling me something that like along that lines with those kind of films. So, but it's worth it, man. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Some fun acting in there, and worth the watch. So thanks again for checking out this review. Hope you enjoyed it, and go out and support young artists and directors and independent films. Do it because I said so. All right. Take care of yourselves. Oh, later today, me and Kevin Lambert from Kelly Headquarters, we will be doing a review from Black from Shudder, another horror film. Be looking for that later this afternoon. Peace out. I don't know. I got some interviews that supposedly have them coming up, but haven't heard from the label yet. But I have to start working out some stuff that I'm going to do next week if that doesn't happen. So take care of yourselves. Be strong. And have a great weekend.